Okay, welcome back to the channel. This will be home repair edition. I've got a little project I'm working on in the bathtub. You can see here I've got the old 3-handle typical 60s shower valve situation with the diverter. There is a kit they sell that is a retrofit remodel kit made by Moen that you can do all the work right here through the front, and we are ready to get cutting. There'll be like an oval opening after we're all done here, and I should be able to work everything from the inside. Stand by. Okay, so step one, according to the directions, I guess you would call this a Moen cover plate stencil that just sits over top of the valves like such. You know, I'll tape that up there and take a Sharpie or a pencil or something and draw out the shape that I'm going to be cutting with a rotozip tool. So I've got the rotozip tool here with the tile blade. I'm going to try my best to hook up like a vacuum attachment. Not sure if that's going to happen. And try to capture all this without missing any crucial steps. So once the hole's cut, then you can do some of the plumbing on the inside. So keep in mind, everything underneath the house is off. There's no access to the back, or else I wouldn't be doing it through the front, obviously. First time doing this, see how it goes. So far so good. We got the vacuum cleaner. I don't know if you can see it here. Kind of hooked up to my grinder, picking up a lot of that extra dust. I was able to get a lot of this, but I'm gonna have to get these valves out of my way. It's no big deal. Even if I can't get them out, I can just hack them off with a Sawzall. Possibly turn this out and try to work around this as much as I can. Okay, this is day 2 here. I took a break last night. I had some issues with what I thought would be a sheetrock type material, which is actually concrete, gypsum type concrete that has like this metal backing. So to get my opening prepared for the new valve, it took a little bit more work than I realized. The tub spout is going to be dropped a little bit, so I may have to do some refinagling with the prettying this back up. The new scutcheon plate that's going to cover all this came a little lower than I expected, so I'm still thinking I'm going to have to drop this down a little bit more even. So yeah, so this is Teddy. He's helping out today. He's getting us yeah buddy, we're getting ready to start getting the new valve put in, so stand by. All right, so this is the new valve that's going back in to replace. This will be a single-handed Moen. It don't really doesn't matter what brand you use. I heard that the Moen is pretty dependable. Single cartridge that goes right there in the center. This will go from the old 3-handle type with the diverter. And one thing you'll notice, and it'll throw you off, okay? If you look up inside this valve, you look and you say, wait a minute, there's no opening for the shower. Like, did I order the right valve? That will throw you off like it did me. I ended up taking it all the way back out just to see, and you can't see, but inside of that valve, there is an opening. There is an opening that comes over from the hot side where it mixes. it will definitely throw you off because you can see all the other holes from the inside, but the opening, the four-way opening going up to the shower head is not visible from the inside. Choose to use the thread sealant with a push fitting. This would be a shark bite type push fitting for the top. Just because it's so tight up there, I'm going to use PEX fittings with pipe from our cold and hot water side. That'll go on each side of the valve going under the house. So under the house, there's valves waiting, and I should be able to do majority PEX fittings under there. I got to put a couple of push fittings because, again, I can solder to a degree, but I'm not going to do something crazy, spend the extra few bucks. And the PEX fittings are proven. They've been around a long time now. So one thing that I've always seen overlooked is the direction that you apply your thread sealant. As you're looking at the threads, when you're putting on thread sealant, and you wouldn't think it would make any difference, but it really does. When you go to turn this onto the fitting itself, you will want to apply this clockwise and such. So you'll start it and you'll be going in the clockwise direction with the threads facing you. So the threads facing you, you're going to be wrapping it to the right. As you can see, I've already tightened this one up. It stayed in place. That might be something that you've heard in the past. It makes a difference. Okay, this is a shot with the valve actually in place. There's the push fitting up in there. On how good the lighting is, we can see that's in place. I'm going to be shimming up some wood pieces the best I can, you know, working with what I've got. I'm going to have another one that's going to go behind the bottom, and this will anchor the actual valve. Is there a better way to do this? My only concern is if you get too crazy with this wall. As you can see, this is 1960s original tile. I've got some pieces to work with. You know, the idea of this type of job is to save yourself thousands of dollars. Roughly for $300 to $400, you can do this. And thankfully, I have some friends with tools I can borrow. Main thing is just have some confidence. If you get some valves underneath the house or wherever your cutoffs are, once that's in place, you can take your time and try to think through this. Okay, so now I've got some braces. I had some 1x wood out in the garage. I just repurposed here. Screwed right with a 2-inch, inch and a half screw right into the old 2x4 on the other side of the wall. And on most valves, this Moen in particular, and I'm going to have the model and number and everything listed in the description of the video. So you can see there's screw holes here. What you don't want is a lot of play here. You know, over time, and this is my daughter's bathroom, it's just a lot of pulling and pushing. I've seen these done where they weren't braced properly, and then over time, you got real problems. This is the PEX crimping toolkit that a good plumbing friend of mine, great guy, let me borrow. And this is, if you were to buy this kit, I mean, I don't know how much it would be, but it's got everything here. So it's got, you cut the cutters. This is actually a tool that if you screw up, you can take the old ring off. The 1/2 inch, it's got an angled head. You just basically wrap this around the clamps, and then you tighten them up. So this is the 3/4, this is the 1/2 inch. You buy the rings that go around the pipe. This is the pipe here. Shout out On Time Plumbing for the hookup on borrowing the tools. So I went ahead and just kind of loosely put the beauty ring up just to see what it was going to be like with the tub spout. As you can see, the opening for the old tub spout is just like right up against it. So that's, you watch the YouTube videos where everything's perfect and everything lines up. Well, guess what? It's not always that way. So we're going to have to move this because you can see the spout opening is dead center of this. And if that lines up correctly, then I'm going to be hitting that. I don't want that to look bad. so I'm pretty much roughed in here. Took the time to solder the tub spout joints. Everything looks pretty good. Checking out the solder joints, pretty happy with those. Plenty of pipe coming out where I can attach. If I need to cut some off, I can. As you can see, all this work was done with the tub faucet cartridge removed. By removing the tub faucet cartridge, I avoid any kind of damage. It's just all plastic in there. You know, I've added some heat. I did this joint out in the garage, so I didn't have to worry about it. Did this joint out in the garage. So only had one really to make up. And biggest thing is not adding too much heat to the brass. Pretty happy with this. I mean, it's pretty sturdy. I've got valves underneath the house. I've been able to do this entire job without turning the water off to the house. All right, guys. Next step, I'm going under the house. Going to be taking some goodies with me. I got a box here, what I think I might need, tape measure, tons of fittings, random things that I think I might run into while I'm under there. The idea is to minimize going back and forth. Let's hope for the best. All right, so I got the crimping tool there, some extra PEX. I've got the drill in case I need to, you know, put a couple hangers here and there to secure the piping. This is the crawl space. I've been under here a few times already. The 15 years that I've lived here. It's so nice under there. I love crawl spaces. Just love them. Okay, in position. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm using a boogie board. It's really great for under the house. If you have something like that to lay on, kind of helps. All right, so you can see the cold water line coming through the floor here. This is the new line. This is the valve I installed for the cold side. I've got a little play here, so I'm going to be able to just put that right in there. The hot water line. Where are you? Let me find you. Oh, here we go. So the hot water line right here, coming down right beside it, is going to 90 over. Oops, sorry about that. And connect right into the hot water valve that I've already installed. And if we don't have any leaks, it'll be a good day. It'll be a good day. And I'm gonna, maybe you're wondering what I'm gonna do with all this. So my plan is to shove down some batting insulation through here really good, and then come back with some spray foam and just make it as good as I can. A lot of this wood got damaged because of years of the old valve leaking and this and that. So, but yeah, this is how they used to do it. The valve, the cutoff valve for the tub was actually underneath. You can't, this wall right here is like a void. You can't get behind it. That was the purpose of me doing the type of retro kit that I went with instead of just going with a standard valve. All right, guys, we're all buttoned up here. Got the valves on, no drips from upstairs, which is always a good sign. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're good. I think we're going to be moving up top, putting the trim kit on, and see how it goes. Man, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know if any of you have done a lot of homeowner plumbing, but it's terrible. Nobody wants to do it. Oh, let me turn this off. Let's get out of this hole. Had some of this insulation that I had bought to wrap around my water heater that I never really used. Pretty thick. Something I already have laying around the house. So you know my motto is use what you already have. Make use of it. So down in the cavity, I don't know if you can see, filled all that in. I'm going to do some from underneath when I'm back under there at a later date. Just fill this wall up as best as I can with what I have. Okay, so we're getting a little further along. I've got all the insulation back behind the valve. stuffed way down into near the subfloor. Cut a lot of the draft off. I've still got some more to do underneath. Got the spout installed. So next is the old shower head extension piece. The extension piece here and the beauty ring. Okay, everybody, here's the finished product. This is the Moen single handle tub shower faucet remodel kit. Pretty happy how it turned out, even with some of the tile work that I had to get into. I had about roughly 6-8 hours into it. That included a lot of under the house, going back to the store a few times. So this is totally doable for someone who's not so handy, even with all the shark bite and PEX connectors nowadays. I think the biggest thing that stood out for me was there's going to be surprises along the way if you have an older house. You may have to buy a few tools. Hopefully you got some friends with some connections for specialty tools. You can save a few bucks. Hopefully you got something out of this. I wanted to include a lot of the in-between stuff, but some of it's just, you know, you follow the directions, you put the pieces together. The roughing is the hardest thing, is trying to retro in your existing piping. And again, with all the new types of fittings, and you may have to make a few trips back to the store, that's okay. I have a buddy who does this for a living. It's easily $1,600, $2,000 job you can do for about $300 to $400, depending if you have to buy tools or not. So hopefully this helps somebody out that's looking to do something like this with an old bathroom. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one.